Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is the gray market video, and by gray market video I mean my favorite gray market sites. I'm going to talk to you guys about the sites that suck the dollar bills out of my bank account, and also talk to you guys about the pros and cons of each of these websites too. I wanted to share this with you guys because as somebody who makes lots of videos, shares hauls, recommends fragrances, tries to talk to you guys about responsible buying habits. It's really hard to say that in front of this, but I do want to share with you guys the sites that I trust and I use and I spend my money at. So I figured doing this would be great. So let's get into the video. Before we get into the video, I obviously have to say a few disclaimers. First, I'm going to be linking all the websites below and any related videos I have in regarding to gray market, shopping, and anything that I think would be pertinent or any referenced video. It's going to be linked below. So just letting you guys know my description box is overfloweth with links. I don't know why I'm super handsy, like spirit fingers today. I had a giant pot of coffee this morning, so it's been a day. It's been a good day, but it's been a day. The other important disclaimers are first and foremost transparency. I am not affiliated with most of these. The only website that I am affiliated with as kind of like an ambassador, like part of their influencer group, which I hate saying that word, but it's their affiliate ambassador program, is Maxaroma. So all the links below to the websites, none of those are affiliate links except for Maxaroma's. If you do not want to click that little link, you can just go into your browser and type maxaroma.com. That's totally fine. But if you click that link and you purchase anything, I do get a little bit of a kickback. So transparency purposes, but any of the other websites below that I link, so Fragrance X, FragranceNet, Fragrance Buy, or Fragrance, those are not affiliate links. So if you can touch them and click them and go to those websites and buy, and I get nothing, which is totally okay. The other big thing is most definitely the legitimacy of gray market websites and also the customer service angle of them too. So as I talk about these websites, I'm going to be giving you the pros and cons of each. And I'm going to be giving you guys recommendations of my favorite websites. So obviously the ones I'm sharing are the ones that I love, that I've gotten fantastic customer service from if I needed to utilize customer service, great shipping times, and everything I purchased has been authentic and arrived timely and intact. So just because everything I've purchased has arrived timely and intact and has been authentic does not mean that that is the whole of the company, or that if I have had a fantastic customer service experience, it doesn't mean that other people have had the same experience. Always do research and check out what other people say about companies and brands, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of money, because sometimes return policies can be a little nebulous with some of these websites. So you don't want to purchase something and find out that you were one of the unlucky few that was stuck with something that maybe was leaking, was damaged, was not authentic, or maybe something happened in transit and you're just left with not a very good experience in regards to trying to get either your money back or a replacement. So just make sure that you buy with caution, because even though I've had glowing experiences, which is why I'm sharing them with you, not everyone has. And I think it's important to trust every review, not just negative ones, positive ones too, but not just positive ones, negative ones too. So I think to just kind of quickly make this video not super long, we're gonna just get the two big ones out of the way, FragranceNet and Fragrance X. I think these are some of the most utilized. FragranceNet is probably the one that I've done the most purchasing from. So to give you an example of the recent purchases from them, all of my Serge Lutens purchases, I'm pretty sure, maybe except for one, but I think all of them have been from FragranceNet. They have actually had, this is why I drink 2 pots of coffee a day and not 1 pot of coffee. Really nice library of fragrances. They seem to update it quite frequently. Sometimes you can buy samples and decants. They've got like their travel atomizers for some of them. They do tend to seem to update their inventory quite frequently. And what I like is they have a very robust library of fragrances. So if you're looking for something, you have a higher likelihood of finding it on FragranceNet than some of the other websites. Not all of them, and we'll get into that, but a really good likelihood of finding it on FragranceNet. Now, the other thing I want to say with FragranceNet is that they do have like that coupon code, and you do have to kind of not settle for anything less than 35%. So if it says like 25%, 20%, sometimes they'll send you a code, say save $50 on $100, but that never quite works out to being better, in my opinion, than the 35 or 37% off coupon on their lowest price. So what I always say is if you don't see that 35 or 37% off coupon, like in the little, top corner, just do a little bit of searching online, and you can usually, with a little bit of research and forensic intuition, kind of feel like you're a detective, even though, I do, but even though it's just me Googling for 10-30 seconds, you can usually find at least a 35% off coupon code if it's only showing up like a 20, 25, or 30. So you might not be able to utilize it with ease just by clicking. You might have to do a little bit of digging for the 30 to 35%, 35 to 37% off coupon, but FragranceNet does have those nice kind of bigger coupon codes that you can use to get a nicer discount on discounted fragrances. So FragranceNet is also the one that, in my opinion, has been around as one of the longer ones, and so people just kind of recognize it, and I think that brand recognition helps and also keeps them accountable, because I think people will know if FragranceNet sells something inauthentic. People know, they're like, I got something fake from FragranceNet. FragranceNet treated me like crap. Like, it is like brand recognition. If they do something, it's not like people are going to forget. It's not like some of the smaller gray market sites that people might forget about. They're gonna remember that something negative happened with FragranceNet. So in my opinion, they use that as like kind of like a fire under their booty to kind of keep them more accountable. And everything I've got from them in regards to, like, when it comes to shipping, so I'm pretty sure you guys all understand, but if you're unsure, fulfillment and processing times are completely different than shipping, calculators. So if something says it'll take 2 to 3 business days for delivery, that is once the carrier gets the box. That is not the box being packaged from the warehouse. So generally what I say is what I hope for some of these websites is that they would have a lead time of 2 to 3 business days, and then a shipping time of whatever I choose, whatever is the options. And FragranceNet's lead times is usually 2 to 3 business days. Sometimes during holidays or really busy times of the year, it can be a little bit longer, but generally their shipping isn't so crazy bad. So that would be, for me, the biggest positive. Is they're not bad lead times. Their prices are usually okay, and if you don't have a good coupon, you do have to kind of finagle it a little bit. And also at the same time, their libraries is fantastic. Now, their biggest negative that I have with this, and I do not know who, how, why, but there are some fragrances on this website where they say it costs like double or triple. Like, you see like the full retail price, and I don't remember which one it was, but I see it way more frequently than it should be. And it says full retail price, like $500, save 60%, and then save an additional 35%. And then so the bottle of perfume might be like $212 or something like that. But I know full retail price, that bottle is $250. And I'm like, where did they come up with this ridiculously high number? This is really just, I don't know who did this. I don't know where they got their information from. I don't know where they got these numbers. Are they reading off like another currency? Like that throws off to me some of the prices and some of the discounts. It seems a little off. And there has been a time, and I don't remember what fragrance it was actually 2 years ago, where FragranceNet's fragrance was more expensive than purchasing it at a department store. And you know, when I purchased Gaiac, I also purchased a Michelef from them. I think it was Eau Gourmet, and I wanted to purchase Gaiac, and I realized that purchasing it from Michelef and having it shipped from Paris was cheaper than purchasing it from FragranceNet. So FragranceNet does have good prices. They do have really good coupons and a great library, but don't think that they have the best prices. So that would be the con, is their pricing is a little bit touch and go. So you do have to do a little bit of research and see if they do have the best price. I would say that's the big. Fragrance X to me is kind of similar to FragranceNet. They do have a nice library. I think that they have a little bit more of a robust selection of specific fragrances than FragranceNet has, but like maybe more brands, but less variety within the brands, and they do tend to sell out. I do like that they have kind of like join the waiting list kind of thing, even though you know you're never going to see those fragrances again. And their pricing is kind of, I would say, similar to FragranceNet's. I don't like that their coupon codes aren't as nice as FragranceNet's, and their shipping time isn't as good, but they do have good prices when you do find something, and generally overall they do have a nice variety. Fragrance X is where I will go if I don't find something on FragranceNet. So FragranceNet will usually be my first choice, and then Fragrance X will be my second choice. So for just kind of like your bread and butter, your milk and honey, kind of your standard, this is where you go to look for discounts. FragranceNet and Fragrance X are the two shops I just kind of check and purchase from the most frequent. Now, if I had to choose the shop that had the biggest pro and the biggest con, would be aurafragrance.com. Now, Aura Fragrance is the website that I see so many threads and Facebook groups and people asking, is this legitimate? Is this a legitimate website? Can I trust this website? And the reason is because their prices are so low. And so the last two fragrances I purchased from Aura Fragrance was Accento Overdose from Xerjoff and another Xerjoff, the Pico Via Dama Tester. Now, their prices, I have not found many, if any, websites that beat their prices. To give you an example, Xerjoff Symphonium, I know I'm not saying that name right, 100 ml full presentation. I think it's sold out, $160. Just to give you an example of some of the deals. I usually see that, if I'm lucky, because that's what I'm looking for, and we'll get into that soon, around like maybe $270, $280, or like $350 for a tester. So full presentation, 100 ml, authentic fragrance, $160. I mean, we're talking about insanely good deals on fragrances here. And so that is why the biggest con is the fact that they sell out quite frequently and they do not have a very robust inventory. I'd say their inventory is quite the opposite of FragranceNet. It is very lacking in regards to when they do get something in, I feel like they only get like maybe 1 or 2 bottles, and when they sell out, I feel like they sell out forever. So their shipping and processing time is excellent too. Super fast, packaged very well. Their fulfillment, shipping, superb. I couldn't say anything about their customer service. I've had no need to contact their customer service. I've always been very happy with my purchases. But the biggest con is the fact that you will be lucky if you find something that you want there. So they do sell, like, you know, Royal Crown and Raja and Xerjoff. They sell some Le Labo, Frederic Malle, obviously a lot of the designer fragrances, and some of the like more luxury niche fragrances you don't expect to find. And when they add a new brand, they kind of update their list. So I also don't really like navigating their website. Their website's a little bit clunky for me. I really don't think I like navigating any of these websites, to be completely honest. There's nothing about them that feels like a nice experience, but I'll deal with it. But Aura Fragrances is one of them that I don't like navigating at all. However, it's worth checking out to try and find something, because again, the discounts that you get on Aura Fragrance are generally like, you might find 1 or 2 fragrances on other websites that come close, but I don't think I found a single fragrance that beats Aura Fragrance if they have it in their inventory. So that is why it is fantastic. So the last two fragrances, like I said, were two Xerjoffs, and those were, again, even though they were like rock bottom prices, they were still very expensive because Xerjoff is very expensive. This one is a very popular website. I've recently purchased a bunch from them. I've purchased from them in the past, but I kind of stopped, and then I purchased from them again, and now I've kind of gone into like a buying craze. Is Fragrance Buy. Fragrance Buy to me is kind of like the best of both worlds in regards to like FragranceNet, Fragrance X, and Aura Fragrance. They do have some fantastic, and I mean fantastic prices. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. What I love though is their inventory. They have some of the most expensive fragrances. They have, I don't know if it's sold yet, they have a Haute Luxe from Raja on there. That's a $3,500 bottle of perfume. I mean, granted, they only have $1,000 off, but that is still $1,000 off that, so it's $2,500. They have all those ridiculously expensive, but still very beautiful Spirit of Dubai fragrances that usually full retail price are like $1,500, $1,200. They're selling them for like, I think like $800 to $600 depending on the fragrance. They have a very full and robust collection of Xerjoff. So a great example is I was searching for Italica forever. Some of the websites, they were sold out of at full retail price. And getting a 100 ml bottle, like Fragrance Buy was the only place I could get it, and I got it super cheap. Fragrance Buy is also where I purchased it's Symphonium. I purchased Symphonium, not at Aura Fragrance prices, and another Xerjoff. I don't remember which one. I forget which one it was, but it's on the way in the box with Symphonium. So those are, I purchased 3 Xerjoffs from them. And to be perfectly honest, in all transparency, I almost bought that bottle of Haute Luxe last month, but I decided I wanted to buy more than one bottle of perfume last month. So I decided not to. But if it's still here, who knows? We'll see what the future holds. But their entire library is just extensive and robust, and I feel like they're really good at updating. They don't like update and refill like a lot, like super frequently, but they do it enough to where you feel like they're on their game when it comes down to keeping up with having a nice fully stocked inventory. So that makes me feel real good. And again, they have a fantastic variety of fragrances, and some of the not so standard niche houses and not so standard fragrances, like Balmain is a house that has been discontinued, and I absolutely love them. And I think that they have a few Balmain fragrances. They have like Le Vin Trianon from Maison Lancôme. I know a lot of people have been asking me if they can still purchase Le Vin Trianon. Yeah, they still have a few bottles of a few of the discontinued Maison Lancômes. They have a very beautiful and extensive library of scents. So I love to shop there. I love to check it out. I tell myself I try not to go too digging because it's a little dangerous for me, but I do very much appreciate their inventory. What I like a lot, which is a pro and a con, is that they can get caught up with delayed processing time. So in my opinion, that is the con. However, what I do really love is the fact that they will send you an email telling you that our usual shipping times are, say, maybe like 2 to 3 days. Because of the current state of our inventory, you should expect like 3 to 5 days or 5 to 7 days. They let you know around the time, I'd say within 24 hours of your order, that you should expect delays on your processing. And that's what I want. I want a company to kind of reach out and be like, hey, we're really busy, so just expect an order to take longer. I like that initiative. There's nothing wrong with companies being busy. It's nice when you don't have to reach out to their customer service and ask, where the heck is my stuff? They just take the initiative and say, hey, it's taking a little longer than normal, but you're gonna get your stuff. That's real good. So kudos to Fragrance Buy. Their prices, in my opinion, are closer to FragranceNet's prices, but some of their prices are better. And again, they have a fantastic inventory. So they're probably currently like my favorite place to shop, even though I shop usually at FragranceNet. Or Fragrance would be the best if it had Fragrance Buy's inventory, but I do really appreciate the inventory at Fragrance Buy is fantastic. So that is another fantastic gray market site. And their shipping, even from Canada, is super fast. So now we're gonna talk about Maxaroma. And as we talk about Maxaroma, again, remember, I am an affiliate, but I also spend a lot of money at Maxaroma too. A lot of money at Maxaroma. Most of my royal crowns come from Maxaroma, and they are very expensive, very expensive. So I think that of my, do I have 11 bottles now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. Of my 11 bottles of Royal Crown, 2 were purchased at FragranceNet. 1 was purchased, one was given to me by Maxaroma, and everything else was purchased from, I believe, Maxaroma, I think. Yeah, I think that's where I got them all. So very pricey. I also bought my bottle of Britannia at Maxaroma. And when I could talk about Maxaroma and the pros and cons of Maxaroma, I'm going to reference Britannia specifically. I've recently purchased all the Virtus fragrances. I'll mention that too. So I've made a very robust, very expensive purchases. Some of my most expensive purchases recently actually have been from Maxaroma. So I do spend a lot of money into Maxaroma, a lot. So first and foremost, I am affiliated with them. They do send me free bottles. And I think over the past 3 years, they've sent me 4 free bottles, which is 4 more than I deserve, but they don't send me a lot of free stuff, which is totally fine. I know that they send more things to other people, but that's fine. I don't require free bottles. I'm perfectly capable of purchasing my own stuff. I do appreciate it when people send me PR. It does help me give you guys more reviews. It does help me have more content for you guys. That's why I like PR. It's not so much to supplement my wall, it's to give you guys more content. I do really enjoy doing it, but it's not necessary. But when it comes down to Maxaroma, they are a brand that I think has made the biggest evolution of all of these websites. So I don't know that I would even truly consider Maxaroma to be gray market anymore, but I'm going to include them because they are still considered gray market and they do still have gray market kind of designer fragrances. So over the past few years, Maxaroma has kind of been putting themselves and positioning themselves to be one of the more premier websites for selling and showcasing a lot of these emerging or underappreciated or just undiscovered within, the United States luxury niche brands. Like if you're within the fragrance community and you follow news and articles and reviewers and industry news, and you go to these special events and conferences, you learn about a lot of these new brands, a lot of these new things, or brands that have been around for a while but that haven't broken out of, say, France or Italy, or Asia, and they start to slowly trickle to the States. And what Maxaroma has really been doing has been kind of showcasing some of the more higher luxury brands on their website at full retail price. So they become a licensed reseller for some of these very expensive luxury niche fragrances. And I think that that's awesome. And in doing so, they've kind of started to evolve past being a gray market site. And they do have, and I know that FragranceNet does have like their atomizer service, but Maxaroma does have their pocket perfumes, and they have a vast, I would just call it their decanting service, a vast library of that. And if they sell out of their pocket perfumes, generally they are really, really good at having new inventory up. So they do, I think every month they get new shipments in, so they update things, and their prices are usually pretty good. So when it comes down to getting deals on fragrances, Maxaroma, you have to be patient and you have to kind of know where to go and what to look, but you can find some, again, tremendous deals on Maxaroma. But I think that next time, if I do another one of these updated gray market website videos, I don't know if I would include Maxaroma because they are kind of moving into a more lucky scent kind of area of being a website rather than like a FragranceNet. They're moving past being gray market and kind of making a name for themselves and bringing in some of these lesser known houses. And a lot of other websites bring in lesser known houses too. They're definitely not the only ones that have done it, but it's interesting to see which houses they bring in. Some of them are the more super expensive houses, and they'll bring in the entire line and then they'll offer gifts with purchases to try. And it's really nice to see them really kind of focus on showcasing some fragrances that people might not have even known about. So I really think that's cool. So to save money at Maxaroma, you really have to be a part of their newsletter, and you also have to check their website. So they do something called like their top deals, and they do it on like some of the more expensive fragrances. Not on every single expensive fragrance, but they do it on a lot of them. So they've done it on Royal Crown. That's usually when you'll see me buy 2 to 3 bottles of Royal Crown. It's when Maxaroma will have like an additional, like say 20% off when they're already at like 40% off. So maybe, you know, a bottle that is like $400 is $150. Now I'll give you an example. Britannia retails for $1,050 USD. That is a bottle I was going to buy this year. That was on one of the bottles I was going to buy. And I was probably going to be my birthday present to myself, because usually in my birthday month in August, I splurge on like the fragrances that are a little bit too expensive and make me feel bad about buying. But you know, sometimes Britannia will pop up and be available on Maxaroma. And there's been a few other fragrances that have popped up that I've missed out on. I've been very sad. And they had it as part of their top deal. So it went from $1,050 to like $650. And then there was an additional coupon, like percentage off or money off. So I got even more money off of it because of a newsletter. So I saved over 50% or close to 50% off of Britannia, which is still a lot of money, but not over $1,000. So utilizing their sales and discounts and coupon codes and signing up for their text alerts, you can get these alerts to get these extra deals, because sometimes the deals are only for 24 hours or for end of day, or they're like on limited stock if they're trying to do liquidation, like the Virtus fragrances. So the Virtus fragrances, I think the reason why they are doing like a clearance liquidation is because that brand is completely redoing their packaging. So they need to get rid of the older inventory. So they had those at, they usually fully retail for around $220. They had them at 50% off, and then additional, I got a text saying like, oh, these brands are an additional 40% off. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard of this brand, I'll check it out. And they had 3 fragrances left, and they tell you how much they have of each fragrance. And of like one of them, they only had 1 bottle left. And I was like, I'm just gonna buy each of these because they were only $60 with that huge discount. So that was like with tax and shipping and everything like that, it came out to $190. So it was cheaper than buying 1 bottle, but I got 3. And so I utilized their fantastic discount and coupons. So that is something that I definitely recommend, is signing up for their newsletter if you don't mind getting texts. They don't text very often. I think I get maybe 2 a week at the most, but they do have a nice variety. They do update very frequently their higher end, more full retail price fragrances. They seem to be kind of neglecting the more discounted fragrances. So I wouldn't go there if you're trying to find a discount on like designer scents. I would go to FragranceNet, I would go to Aura Fragrance, I would go to Fragrance Buy, I would go to Fragrance X, I would go to any of the places I mentioned. But if you're looking to find a deal, like a really good deal on some of these brands that maybe you wouldn't even be able to find easily, or you'd have to pay an insane customs and fee, there we go, to get here. You can get it from Maxaroma without having to do all that, and you can also save a bit of money if you wait for special deals. And they also will do those pocket perfumes. Sometimes if it's a new brand, they'll have special gifts with purchase. Like if you buy a full bottle of Royal Crown, you got like 3 8-ml atomizers of their most popular fragrances. And when I bought a bunch of Royal Crown, I use those as giveaways for you guys. So they do have really generous gifts with purchases as well. And I think every purchase that you make from Maxaroma, you also get a nice sample, and it's usually a really good sample. It's usually like one of the more luxury, high-end fragrances. So it's not like you're getting a sample of Burberry Brit Rhythm or something like that. Usually if I say, hey, I got this sample in a purchase, it's usually Maxaroma. Yeah, so that's really nice too. Their gifts with purchase have been fantastic. Now, the con with Maxaroma, I do think has to do with the fact that they are not a discount site. And so you have to kind of really, again, be patient and wait for them to have those top deals, because those deals don't happen. I mean, they have those weekly deals every week, but they're not going to have them on Xerjoff every week, or not every fragrance from Xerjoff. And then they do sell out of things very quickly, especially during these deals. So you do have to be kind of like on top of your game too. So I would say that their pricing is very good. Their inventory is very good. And I do know, at least for Royal Crown, that they're an authorized reseller. Now I will speak to their customer service, because when I bought the bottle of Absolute on their website, it is their older bottle. So it's a different cap. It's like a little bit fancier cap and a completely different presentation. And when I bought that bottle and I opened it, it just didn't have the same cap. It had the same cap as Oud Jasmine and a completely different box. And I immediately thought to myself, even though I'm an affiliate, so I work with them, like I don't get sponsored. They don't pay for my videos. They don't give me money to produce videos. But again, I do have an affiliate link, and they do send me like a bottle every 2 years, what it feels like. But again, that's way more than I deserve. But that doesn't mean that I don't question authenticity. So when I opened that bottle, I think full retail price, it's like $900. I spent like $500 on it, so it's still a lot of money. And I remember looking at it and being like, did they just send me a fake? I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I reached out immediately to their customer service, and their customer service was amazing. So their customer service got me in touch with Royal Crown, and they're like, we're an authorized reseller. Here is the email to Royal Crown. And I checked it on their website, and it was true. It's not like they're sending me around in circles. And Royal Crown's like, yep, they're an authorized reseller. And yes, we've updated the packaging for Absolute. So in my opinion, they treated me very well when I had a very valid inquiry about a hiccup in a picture and a purchase. So the most recent things I purchased from Royal Crown is I just purchased, not from Royal Crown, from Maxaroma, is I just purchased Ambrosia and their Virtus fragrances and Britannia. So I've spent a lot of money. Now, a big issue I do have with Maxaroma, and if you're watching Maxaroma, please fix this, is there are discrepancies with photos and products, and that is not a good customer service experience. And I can forgive it if it is a website that has like a supreme myriad amount of discount gray market products, but when you're trying to sell a $500 bottle of Ambrosia and the picture is a bottle of Sea Island and everything says Ambrosia, but it's a picture of Sea Island, you kind of worry that that you're gonna get the right bottle. And I would have been okay with Sea Island, but I wanted Ambrosia. And I don't even know if they've updated the photo of Royal Crown Absolute, because they know that's not the right one. Let me check. This is what I mean. This is Maxaroma's website. Oh, I don't care about that. I hate those. See, this is the bottle of Absolute, and right there, see, that's a different crown, and it's in a different box. So the box that it's normally in, I don't know if they have pictures, it normally stands up straight and you open it, but this one, it's laying down like all the classic bottles, like all the other bottles. So when I purchased this and I was expecting that crown and I didn't get it. Absolute last year, like within the past 12 months. And I mean, the customer service representative went to their warehouse and actually opened all their boxes because they were going to send me a different cap. We were going to exchange caps. I was like, I don't care about the box, but I'd like the cap. And they were like, no, it's all the caps. And so when Royal Crown said, yeah, we've updated our bottles, they said that they were going to change their picture. They haven't changed their picture yet. This is my problem with Maxaroma. And this is something that I understand, that when it comes down to a big website, a big business, stuff like this doesn't seem important, but for a customer experience, you can fix it. So that's my biggest issue, to be perfectly honest, with Maxaroma, is just giving a better experience when it comes down to navigating their website that gives your customers more confidence in purchasing their fragrances. Because I can tell you right now, if that was my first purchase from Maxaroma and I had opened that bottle and it was not the pictured fragrance, I wouldn't have done much customer service. I wouldn't have returned it and thought it was fake, and I wouldn't have done a lot of digging. I would have felt very cheated and upset. So all it takes is for them to change the photo to not have that issue on a very expensive bottle of perfume, because they are licensed sellers. That is an authentic bottle. It's not a fake. So they need to spend the extra time to kind of update their photos and their inventory and keep their website accurate, because that is very important. So that is my biggest issue with Maxaroma, and it's not on everything. It's really very rare that it happens, but it's normally on very expensive bottles of perfume. So I can see customers not having a lot of confidence when it comes down to purchasing, being like, I don't know if I want to make this purchase. So that's my biggest critique for Maxaroma, and that's something that they can fix with the right, whoever does their website, whoever keeps up with their inventory, whoever does all their back-end stuff. Maybe have them spend a few days just kind of, trying to fix all that if possible. But that's my biggest issue. But overall, I do enjoy Maxaroma, but I think that they're moving past a gray market and they're moving more into just a website that sells expensive perfume, which is okay because they do offer really nice discounts. I also really like their live. Those are my favorite most used, most sold. Those are the websites that get the most money from me, and it's a lot of money. And those are the ones that I've also had the best experience with. The reason why Maxaroma I mentioned as a good experience is because when I had that issue, I was chatting back and forth for like an hour and a half, and that customer service representative, he was on point, and he didn't know who I was, which I'm not anybody. So let me just throw that. I'm not anybody. I'm not an influencer, even though I'm part of their ambassador program. But he didn't know I was part of the ambassador program. I was reaching out through their chat saying, hey, I bought this. So I wasn't reaching out to say, hey, I'm one of your people that, post on Instagram and, do YouTube reviews and link to you guys. I'm like, hey, I'm a customer. And so I think that that's important too, because sometimes when people get sent PR, when people get sent things for marketing, they're treated better than paying customers. I don't think that's okay. And I liked really seeing the level of just urgency and promptness that their customer service team gave me as a client, as somebody who purchased something and had a legitimate issue. And they definitely handled it very professionally, promptly, and in a way that I thought was great. So their customer service, in my opinion, is excellent. They do have max 2-day shipping on certain things. I don't like if you purchase something that is not 2-day shipping. It's like 2 different packages. I wish they'd bundled that. I don't know why they don't. Maybe they can't based on, you know, regulations. I don't know much about that, but I feel like if you purchase something with max 2-day shipping, maybe they should bundle it together. But their shipping times are not bad. They're actually pretty decent even without the max 2-day shipping. But overall, my biggest gripe is just kind of the experience with navigating their website. And also sometimes their pictures don't match up with what you're purchasing, and that kind of leads to a lack of confidence as a customer when you're trying to spend hundreds of dollars on overpriced scented water. So yeah, that's my video. I'm literally looking at like 1 hour and 45 minutes. Hopefully I can cut this down. We're gonna try, we're gonna see. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have had any experience with any of these websites, positive or negative, let me know in the comment section below. This video is meant to be a resource, so just because I've had fantastic experience with these websites doesn't mean that everyone else has. So if somebody comes here and they're like, hey, Beauty Meow really liked this website, and somebody was like, oh no, buyer beware, it would be really cool if all that information can be aggregated on one kind of area. So definitely don't be afraid. I'm not going to edit any of the comments. I'm going to edit any comments that are talking about any of these websites. I'm not going to edit them or hide any of them. There's no point. Then what's the point? That's silly. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.